Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever Viewpoints Live. The aim of this evening is to allow you to ask questions of our expert panellists.
Well, first of all, I think it's very good that on the social dimension of the budget announcements by the Chancellor that they are making extra resources available for training opportunities for those people who are sadly going to experience unemployment given the recession. But also I think there will be additional money into the sector, particularly into the college sector, to deal with the enormous difficulties and mess up there's been with the Learning and Skills Council capital programme, which has, I think, a lot of implications for colleges in this region, including, I think, probably your own. The areas, I think, for targeting, I would suggest are around manufacturing, around science, technology, and in particular, I think, the creative and digital industries, given the implications for the region of the arrival from next year of Media City.
Has the Chancellor done enough to get us out of the recession?
And I'm very pleased to see that there is a strong social dimension to this. I mean, my first reaction looking at the 50% tax band was, oh, blooming heck. But then I thought, well, wonderful, if it's going to be spent at the right end of the employment market, at the end which always gets hit the worst by any recession. Every time there's an economic malaise, there seem to be a raft of people who become increasingly immune to the effects of that, and even more people who are at the other end who are cast out of the employment market through people wanting to make more money through automating elements in their business and taking people out of the equation and or making money out of money.
Cash is always king, and I think the current climate has served to reinforce that fact. And as we were talking just earlier on, I think that probably the most important factor about surrounding settlement would be early communication. So if there is going to be an issue, then the sooner you can, as long as you can maintain that relationship, the sooner you can start that conversation, so that if you know there's going to be a shortfall somewhere, you can come up with an arrangement that works for both of you, and you can make short-term plans to kind of mitigate the effects.
We have to be very careful. There's one of the clubs, Bradford City, who's halved their ticket price, and they've doubled the crowd. And they think this is a great idea, and they think they should win awards for this. That's all well and good, right up to the moment they want to go out and buy a player. Well, they don't have the money to buy the player. And the moment they start dropping the league, the crowd will go down, and you go right back to square one. What we've decided to do, Burnley Football Club, as a principle, is to keep our prices the same, but improve our product and give a better service to the people who come through the door, to improve the stewarding and to can't do much about anything that goes on the field. The manager does that, but certainly what we can do is improve our ticket office, improve every element of the football club. That's what we've decided to do, and keep the prices the same. Whether it works in other businesses, I don't know, but maybe we can all look at our businesses and say, how can we give for the same price a better service to our customers? Maybe that's what we should do, rather than playing with the prices. That's how I think.
We've been in business for 160 years, and who knows, some of your businesses might do the same. And the reason is quite simple, and that is the person who founded my business was an orphan boy. And he started a business with some borrowed stock at the age of 18. Similar story, almost, not quite, to what you did. He was entrepreneurial, he was doing something new, and, his whole philosophy was that if you do right by other people, picking up what Paul was saying, if you serve someone else, you'll do well out of that. And our business, I mean, I've been told by so many people, you should sell the business, you'd make millions. It's all a question of timing. You keep getting the letters from KPMG and PwC, have you got an exit plan? What the hell does that mean? No, I haven't. I'm serving people with groceries. And we do it, I like to think we do it rather well. And for as long as we do it well, we do very nicely. It puts petrol in the tank. Thank you very much.
I think less and less the divide that some people want to create between the public sector and private sector is useful. I think that the closer those two sectors got together, the easier it would be for all of us. And if you think about the public sector, and Steve spoke about cuts in public expenditure, which I'm sure will come, 2/3 of what councils and the health service and all those other organisations spend are on wages, and wages go in tills, and tills make factories work, and it's a cycle that you can understand for yourself very easily. So I really think we've got to work very, very hard on removing those kind of barriers.
Okay, let me give you guys some perspective as to why he's asking me this question. He's referring obviously to iTeddy and how it came about. Well, we were both sitting at home around 2 years ago where I came up with my idea and he came up with this idea of a card with a mirror on the inside and a speaker built in, and we had a challenge as to who could actually turn their idea into a business. Obviously we ended up in 45 countries around the world, and his idea, I think, is still sitting in the front room somewhere, which he did actually, take my hat off to him, he did prototype, but the margins just weren't there because he had it manufactured over in the States. But all I can say, Zubair, is I remember I was at an event, it was about 2 months ago, where Gordon Brown was speaking, and I'll tell you what he said. So when Edison came up with the light bulb, everybody remembers that light bulb moment, but some bright spark came to him and said, what about the 99, no, this is great, what about the 99 times that you failed before you invented the light bulb? Aren't you embarrassed by that? And he said there were 99 steps to success. So don't forget that, and there you go. Keep going. That's the one, you've got another 98.
I was just thinking, whilst my learned colleagues on the panel were talking, and the people in the audience, perhaps the Lancashire Business View wants to look at a Daft Ideas board, because I think there's some really good ideas out there in the community that somebody's a bit frightened, a bit trepidated to bring forward. And so perhaps, Richard, let's have a Daft Ideas board, a DIB. It's a new acronym for you. Let's get DIBby. As I learnt in my history books, I'm not pointing at Steve in history, in my history books of the 18th century, Britain's bread hung on Lancashire's thread. There is loads of innovation, loads of working together, loads of opportunities that we can use together to... I know the recession is not going to be easy. It's going to go on for another year at least, I would guess. But let's work together and let's have some of those DIBs, some of those daft ideas, and move forward with them.